Welcome on back, everybody, to episode 124 Streaming with the Mouse, where today we are talking about a mind-bending episode of Marvel Studios' Moon Knight. Sit back, relax, this is Streaming with the Mouse. Welcome on back, everybody, to Streaming with the Mouse. My name's Cam Ramos, and joining me, as always, is the Mark Spector to my Stephen Grant. I switched it up that time. Cliff, say hello to the nice people.
Hello, everyone. And I think mind-boggling is the right way to go with this.
That was the very PC way to say that.
Not the holy. Yeah, let's.
Yeah.
There. This show really does keep getting better and better. I saw you either liked or retweeted something that said like, if the next episode really hits home, it's going to be better than Loki.
So I take it back, actually. I think I deleted it, but I wrote on Facebook, I was like, I think the show is better than Loki. And then I thought about it, and I was like, no, I still like Loki better, but this is up there. Just as, like, I can only imagine what Moon Knight comic book fans, like true Moon Knight comic book fans, are going through, because, like, for them, this must be a complete dream to have one of their favorite characters, like, portrayed in one of, like, what people say the Jeff Lemire storyline is like one of the better Moon Knight storylines. To see that coming into play here, I'm so excited for them, and I'm excited for somebody who's just started reading Moon Knight comics like 3 months ago. And when I say read comics, I'm not reading every run. I've read a handful of this Jeff Lemire run that no one shuts up about, and there's a reason for it. It's because it's amazing. So I'm excited. So I can only imagine what it's like to be a true diehard Moon Knight fan, like if. For me, like Daredevil or Spider-Man, basically. So it's got to be pretty cool.
While you deleted your hot take, I will actually accept it. I think it has the potential to be better than Loki.
But it's not there yet. I said it was there. It's not there yet. I need that finish.
At this point of Loki wasn't the best either. So it takes time. You're comparing completed perfection to still what's left. And I mean, Oscar Isaac doesn't really lie. We know that from whenever he does interviews. And he said that the next episode is supposedly like the crazy one. Like next
4
episode,
or 5?
What's that next? Is next 4 or 5?
Next is 5. This was just 4.
I thought 5 was supposed to be 4 was supposed to be the like, oh wow. 5 I thought was supposed to be the holy SHIT.
And that's the only one that people have not seen. People that are like more popular than us, they got screeners for 1 through 4, so nobody's seen 5 through 6. So like, I'm excited that like we're all on the same page now with people who are doing these review shows besides us, because we don't get screeners. And even if we got a screener, I don't think I'd watch it. I'd want to like watch it live with everybody else.
I would absolutely watch it.
Yeah, I would not.
I would just be making fun of you the whole time.
Fair, but I'm excited. I'm really excited for this.
Oh yeah, this one is trending at 8.6 out of 10 on IMDb. I think that's
solid.
Fair.
Yeah.
There is a little bit of news. We got confirmation that where did it go? We got confirmation from John Williams that he finally was able to write a leitmotif for Obi-Wan for the Kenobi show. He talked about how he didn't get to do it for A New Hope, and he's very happy. He personally asked Kathleen Kennedy if he could do it, and she said yes. On top of that, we do get Natalie Holt is becoming the first woman composer of Star Wars. She's doing the overall Kenobi music. John Williams is just there as kind of like a advisor, I think, and like writing a few small things. And the only other thing, after its very successful season 1, Andor is starting filming season 2 in... Oh, wait. They have not even released it yet. And Andor is already filming season 2 in September.
Which makes it seem like, holy cow, this show's going to be awesome if they're already filming season 2 without any fan reaction at all.
I'm not saying anything. I do not give Star Wars the benefit of the doubt anymore. Give us the show. Give us the show. I want my Star Wars content.
Very fair.
And then I'll make an opinion on it. Because obviously, I know you really liked Andor as one of your more favorite characters.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. I think I really hope it is a nitty-gritty Rebels show. That to me is the only way. I think it needs to be dark. And that's what I don't want to see how... I want to see why, like, at points why the rebellion was not always good. Fair. I want to see that. And they better not make it like... They better not make Andor like a Disney prince.
I'm sure it'll be fun. I'm
We'll
excited
see.
for it, though.
We'll see. I'm just saying. I want to see season 1 before season 2 gets confirmed.
Fair.
But that is the news. We did not have a lot this week. I mean, it's short, quick turnaround. So
For sure. All right, Cliff. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it.
Top 5 of episode 4 of Moon Knight, The Tomb. Do you want to start off?
Sure. I will start off. And
also, if you're listening to this at this point, spoiler warning, duh, kind of thing. Like, that's on you.
I think at this point, you know. And I think number 5. I'm trying to think what's the best way to do number 5. I'll get into more specific. Well, actually, the exploration of the tomb was really cool because it kind of annoyed me at times, and it kind of didn't. What really got to me was it really reminded me of Game of Thrones, the episode, the Battle of Winterfell, because my screen was so dark. I'm like, wow, yes. This is Game of Thrones-ish. This is like brighten it up a little. Maybe it was to hide the cameramen that keep getting caught. But the actual scene was cool. The chase scene was cool, and that monster, whatever the hell it was so creepy and disgusting.
Yeah, I will say, Cliff, it's funny you said that. I had the same exact thought. I was like, oh, it's Battle of Winter. It was better than Battle of Winterfell. Like, it was still a little bit more light. Because I could actually make out some silhouettes of people, but I had the same thought, like, oh my god, it's the Battle of Winterfell 2.0 all over again. Oh god, we didn't learn our lesson that people like to watch when they're watching TV.
Yes, but I thought the tomb looked really cool, and like seeing it looked very accurate, and I also just like Steven's reaction to finding the tomb itself was really interesting. But yeah, I think the little chase scene outside of the darkness to me was a really good start to the episode.
And Cliff is already starting stealing my stuff. My number 5 is the setting of the tomb was really cool and looked great. Were there some parts that were very dark? Yes, but I liked the look of it. I don't know how much of it actually was practical, but it looked very practical to me.
It did.
And I thought that was really cool. I liked the whole, reminded me of like a labyrinth kind of thing. And somehow Mark was able to determine, oh no, it's like the symbol or whatever, and that's how he was able to figure out where the tomb of he didn't know it was the tomb of Alexander at the time, but where Alexander the Great was buried with the what would you call it, like the little totem of Ammit.
Yeah, the thing that captured Ammit.
There's a name for it. I just don't know what it is, but I'm going to call it a totem. But I thought it was really well done. The scenes were great. I loved everything about Layla when she was doing like her little thing, like skimming up against the side of that harrow. The creatures were crazy cool. They were very creepy. It was really, really fun. This was a very nitty-gritty scene, and I think everybody says like, oh, Moon Knight's cool because he's like a street-level hero. This was cool because it was street-level hero type stuff, but set in a tomb in Cairo. Like, it was really fun. I had a great time watching that. So that was my number 5, was the setting was really great.
Yeah, and I'm kind of cheating at number 4, I will say. It's not stealing your thing, but it's kind of like, stealing your thing again, unless you do have it. That would be funny. But what I thought was really funny, and I think it was because I recently had watched something on it, is the fact that they found Alexander the Great's tomb, because the whole point of it is it's never been found. We don't know where Alexander the Great is buried. We had a few ideas, but we don't actually know. And that to me was really funny because I do appreciate when Marvel does something that's found in the real and that's not found in the real world, and they find it after in the fake world. So I thought that was actually really funny. I think it's mainly because I was just kind of watching something about it. The only thing at least in our real world, that Alexander the Great they never referred to him. He was never affiliated with Ammit. So that was a purely Marvel thing.
For sure.
It was interesting. I mean, because sometimes those old rulers that saw themselves as gods would claim a god for themselves. Mm-hmm. So, but he did not in real life. That we know. Well, my 10 minutes of research did not find.
Fair. All right. My number 4 is going to be the conversation that Harrow and Layla had. I thought that was really well done. I liked that they were worlds apart. Layla had just skimmied through this cavern within the tomb. She fought off that monster. I don't even know what it was, but she fought off that monster, and then they had that conversation. I thought it was Ethan Hawke did such a good job with this. I thought it was so badass to have this serious conversation while he's just like sitting along the edge, swinging his foot over the side of this little chasm. And they have like a really good conversation, which is mostly just Harrow talking at Layla and like kind of confirming, in my point of view, things that Layla kind of had an idea about. Obviously, she didn't know that Mark was there the day her dad died, and it was kind of implied by Harrow. I felt like that Mark was the one that killed her dad, but just
which we find out wasn't true.
Yes, correct. But getting that confirmation that, like, hey, Mark knew about this, and that's why he didn't want to talk about it, was interesting. But I thought it was just really, really good acting by both the actors in this scene, and it was really well done. It was a very tense conversation, especially after coming out. I'll be honest, a little jump scare for me with that creature coming out of the wall at one point. So to go from that kind of intensity to a different kind of intensity, I thought was really well done. So good on the showrunners and people that wrote the script or whatever, and obviously shout out to the actors who helped portray this part of the show, because I thought it was a really awesome conversation between our hero and the maybe bad guy. I don't know what's happening anymore in this show, so we'll see what happens. But
yeah, it's I was talking to one of my other friends about this. Layla really is one of the best new additions to Phase 4. Or is this Phase 4 now?
Yeah, it's Phase 4. So
what are we in?
Yeah, it's
Phase 20. She's really one of... It's only been 4 episodes total, and she's already really, like... She leaves you wanting a lot more. And I could definitely see them going in the direction where she becomes a avatar for someone else, or whatever it is. I do have a theory about... What's his name? Ethan Hawke's character.
Harrow.
I do have a theory about Harrow that I saw on TikTok that I really like. I'll share it at the end of this, because I really liked it. But yeah, you're stealing my number 4 because mine's gonna be a mix. Mine's gonna be the conversation about Layla's father, where Ethan Hawke is just an incredible actor. He really sells it. And it's so weird because I really appreciated how him and Oscar Isaac were both like, yeah, I really didn't see me doing a Marvel movie, but then they proposed this show, and I was like, oh yeah, this is great. And I was texting my brother about it, and I'm like, this is really the first time this really doesn't feel like Marvel. Which is,
I think I agree with that.
I kind of like it is. I do think, and we've talked about it. I think with the addition of TV, Marvel fatigue could actually become a thing. I don't think the movies are, because it's like twice a year. Get over it. You can see a movie twice a year and not get burnt out from it. But like getting TV shows, like getting Marvel all the time, you do need to switch it up. And where like WandaVision was unique, Loki was unique, but a lot more Marvel based. Hawkeye was a Christmas show. Like we're getting these shows that, and this is like Egyptian gods. This is like what the heck is going on in a good way. And I think this is helping burn out the Marvel fatigue, because it's saying, here's the creative freedom that we don't give to the movies. And so that's my mini rant of the day. But when Layla confronts Mark about the father, I think it was Mark actually dealing with his trauma, because that's where Mark died. That's where Mark Spector should have died. And that is where Khonshu found him and revived him to be the Moon Knight.
Do you think we'll get that scene? Because that's like a pretty... Yeah, I think we'll get a flashback at some point. If it really happened. We don't know. I don't know.
And supposedly Layla's dad in the comics, like the name that they said is like someone called like the Beetle in Marvel. That's like I don't know if they're a villain or a hero, but they're someone important. So they probably, what they did is they probably killed Layla's father, and she might take his role.
Maybe.
But
yeah, I've never heard of that character, so that's interesting. That's definitely an interesting, especially where in that conversation, Harrow like talked about like the Scarab, like that was her the nickname for Layla by her dad.
Yeah, so that like I think the whole scene was really good, because it was a very nice. It was an emotional stake that also added to what was going on around them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My turn?
Your turn.
All right, my number 3. This was my number 2, but I'm changing it to my number 3, I think.
Gasp.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. So my number 3 now is it's kind of stealing off what I think your number 4 was. So, like, I liked the incorporation of Alexander the Great. I thought that was really cool. Again, bringing real life kind of things into the Marvel Cinematic Universe is really cool. But I liked the puzzle that had to be solved, I guess, by Mark. So the fact that it was the voice of Ahmet. So the totem would be in the throat of it. I thought that was so gross. And I know it's a mummy that's been dead for thousands of years, but reaching into Alexander the Great's throat to pull out the totem, it was funny, but it was also gross, but also just equal. I just like the whole, I guess what I'm saying is I like the whole puzzle aspect, and how smart and knowledgeable Stephen is about the Egyptian gods and the tombs and whatnot, in the archaeology piece of it, I guess. To be able to know, okay, I'm putting this puzzle together. It's got to be in the throat because they're the voice. Same thing with, like, the tongue is the voice too. So, like, that's where the tomb is going to be, or that's where the totem is going to be as well. It was just really well done. So I like that whole puzzle because it wasn't something that I was thinking. But then as Stephen was saying, I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Why he's very smart. He gets this. And he's obviously able to pull off, oh my god, this is Alexander the Great, because of whatever language was on the tomb too. But I thought it was really well done.
Yeah, it did, and I was like, oh my god, he's reaching his throat, like his arm through the. He's like going in,
Yeah,
and like the sound department, like great job on that, great job.
Thank God I was watching my TV and not with headphones, because I would have just.
I was listening with AirPods. So I got everything, which was not great. But I was like, oh my god, the same thing when they did we're not fully going to talk about it, but when they were doing the technically the embalming, the creature was doing the embalming. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, that was gross too.
My number 2 is what's in the box. What's in the box? I think we know what's in the box. I think we know Jake is in the box. That, to me, when they were shot, was that was really funny. And I really liked, and we will, I don't know if I want to, I'll save that for the next part, but the box I thought was really funny because it really kind of is making fun of, I like when Marvel makes fun of the fans, and it's like, he's there, he might be coming, and we have been getting more and more confirmation that Jake is in there, when both Steven and Mark don't know what's going on. But I do like how they're kept in the sarcophagi.
Yeah,
that'd be the plural of sarcophagus.
I think that's purple. Yeah, I think it would be
sarcophaguses. Sarcophagi. So what's in the third one? I'm guessing it's Jake. Everyone thinks it's Jake. It's Jake. It's Jake.
We'll see. I think we'll see.
Maybe it's a new one. Maybe it's not a taxi driver. Maybe it's an Uber driver. Maybe Jake gets an upgrade. All
right. My number 2 is Oscar Isaac. I feel like this is a constant top 5 on my list is Oscar Isaac, and I'm not going to shut up about it because he's just doing such a good job. I think he's doing fantastic. And every week I'm like, oh my god, he did it again. He did it again. He did it again. This week he elevated even more because you have the humor of the Mark Steven punch fall down the tomb thing. That was hilarious. You have the apologies as he's going through Alexander the Great's throat to get the totem. You have him doing these serious moments as Mark taking over the body to have that conversation with Layla about her dad and him being there, and that he was shot that night and basically was saved, without going into too much detail. It was really, really great. But then you have, obviously, the asylum scene, and the acting he did in that brought it to a whole nother level for me, because it's awesome seeing the Steven and Mark duality playing off each other within himself as Oscar Isaac as the actor, but then to get this other one where he's Mark, but he's a different kind of Mark, but then also he's parent trapping himself playing with Steven and Mark, not just in the glass, but I know it's not on the same screen, but the same screen. He's just absolutely fantastic. I think I'm ready to put this as my favorite Marvel performance in Phase 4, just edging out Elizabeth Olsen as of right now.
Yeah, you say that, and then we're going to go see Moon Knight in 2 weeks, or we're going to go see Multiverse of Madness in 2 weeks, and then
Cliff, are you insinuating? I'm sorry, I'm offended. Are you insinuating, my friend, that
I
have recency bias.
Oh no!
Of course I do. Of course I did. No, of course I have recency bias. I mean, that's exactly what I was going to say, Cliff. You stole the words out of my mouth. Of course, in 2 weeks when we see Multiverse of Madness, I'm going to say Elizabeth Olsen killed it again.
Well, what's going to be even funnier is that's going to be the last episode of Moon Knight is going to drop the Wednesday, and then Doctor Strange drops Thursday. Correct?
Yeah. Well, technically Friday, but we're going.
Yeah, we're going early.
We're going the 4th. Yeah.
I believe that's how it goes.
Ooh, that's going to be difficult.
It's going to be really funny because you are going to have to watch Oscar Isaac act his pants off, and then right after that, go see a movie with 2 incredible actors also on screen.
I think that's going to be big for me because I'll be able to compare them within the span of 2 days.
Your recency bias is going to implode.
It really is.
So, no, that's kind of interesting how it lines up that way. I didn't even think about that until right now.
And I'm going to the Red Sox game that Wednesday night, so I don't know when I'm going to watch Moon Knight. So now I'm stressing out.
Oh my god, you're just.
It's going to be stressful.
Have a fun time. That actually might hurt Multiverse of Madness. You're going to watch Multiverse of Madness on Thursday, and then Moon Knight on Friday.
No, I'm going to have to wake up at like 5 a.m. or something for Moon Knight, I think. I'm going to have to do that. It is what it is.
So my number
whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. My number 1 is the afterlife scene. It is just so well done. There are so many callbacks to other people throughout this. The man calling the bingo cards was the gold statue that Steven likes to talk to. Layla was there. It was like...
The store manager was there.
The store manager was there. Also she was a patient clutching a beetle below.
Yep.
Mark had a Moon Knight action figure. Or Steven, whoever it was.
Mark.
What else was there?
Wait, actually? Was it Steven or Mark?
I don't remember.
Oh my god, this is terrible. I actually don't remember.
In the office where it was Harrow being the guy, it looked like Mark's and Steven's apartment.
Mm-hmm.
It was just crazy. And then we got the Hippo Goddess. I can't remember her name. But she, I believe, is the goddess of fertility and rebirth.
Mm-hmm.
So her being seen right before means that they're probably coming back to life. It was just such an interesting scene, and they did make up for the Battle of Winterfell because it was so bright. It was bright and white.
Yeah.
But it was just such a mind trip scene, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, this is a good one. This is a good part.
My number 1 is obviously the same exact thing. It was just so good. As somebody, again, I'm not taking credit as being a Moon Knight fan. I am becoming a Moon Knight fan now because of this. But having read, not all, just because I don't have time, unfortunately, but having read a good chunk of the Lemire and Smallwood run of Moon Knight, where you don't know, is this real? Is this fake? As soon as he was falling, and I saw him fall, I was like, okay, that water can't be that deep, what the hell's happening? And then it finally clicked in my brain, like, it's happening. It's happening right now. They're actually going to do it. They're going to do it, and they did it. And I just looked it up. It was Mark who was in there. He's the one that found Steven. I don't know what's happening, and I love that. So again, I think I've done this a couple times too, but the mystery of this as well, you can incorporate everything into my number 1, because obviously Mark and Steven share one body, but now there's 2 bodies. So is this really happening? Is Harrow really a bad guy, or is he really just a therapist trying to help? Like, what is happening right now? Why is Mark in this thing? Is it because in the comics he's had childhood trauma that he's in this asylum? Is it because he really was shot and now he's in this? My little theory right now is he in the asylum with other people who were affected by the snap? Like, did they unfortunately suffer a mental breakdown because of losing someone they loved or something like that, and they had to recreate these things? I think that'd be interesting, especially where this show hasn't really had many ties to any of the other shows or movies, besides like that one time that van had like the GRC logo. So like that's obviously has to do with the snap, so that'd be kind of interesting as well. Because we have seen things in, like you said, Cliff, there are things in the asylum we've seen in the show. There are things in the show that we see in the asylum. So, like, one of them is, like, a stuffed animal of the hippo goddess. I forget her name as well. Like that's in that's in the gift shop. So does Mark recognize that he sees a GRC van in, I think it was episode 2, because that's why he's in here. This is like a GRC project to help people who are suffering mental breakdowns from having lost somebody. Because for all we know, this show could be taking place within those 5 years of Snap. I do think actually they have confirmed that's taking place after everyone returns in Endgame. So, but that could be another thing too. Like maybe he got snapped and he came back, and
I think they figured out Mark wasn't snapped because of his passport.
Okay, fair. And also, it wouldn't make sense that this is happening during the snap, because I literally just contradicted myself with the GRC thing. But regardless, this could be after the fact, but maybe he lost somebody, or maybe he didn't, and that's why it has happened. I think it's still so cool that we're gaining more knowledge, but then it's just being completely potentially thrown out the window, because we're like, I don't know what's real and what isn't. And I love that about this show. Is Moon Knight really there? Is he not? Are we ever going to see him be able to team up with the Avengers? Who knows? And we don't know at this point. So it's interesting to see how they will tie this all together in the penultimate episode this upcoming Wednesday on episode 5. But obviously that was going to be our number 1. It just had to be, Cliff. It had to be.
It had to be. Okay, I got confirmation on this. And what makes, like, when Mark and Steven, they finally find peace between each other and they hug it out, it adds a little bit more. I really liked this fact on, this was a fun fact from Reddit, and I got confirmation from Marvel.com. The body double or stand-in for Oscar Isaac, so when they need to do it, is his brother.
Oh, that's cool.
So that hug was between him and his brother too.
That's cool.
Which I thought that was a really fun thing to. That's like a really interesting and like fun fact for it. But no, this was a great episode. This is a show that does they keep getting better, which I think is the point. But Moon Knight kind of hit the ground running right away. We didn't have to wait for the suit or anything like that. Mm-hmm. But I do want to quickly talk, and I think you will also appreciate this. This little theory. So the fan theory that I found on TikTok is that Harrow is lying to us all. He is not Amit's, what's it called? He is Avatar, and he was not Khonshu's former Avatar. He is the human form of Anubis. He is Anubis reborn, looking to get back at the gods. And this is because Amit is not a scales. She does not use the scales. She's just a devourer of souls. Anubis continuously uses the scales. He judges people between life and death. And he also uses, at least in the comics, he uses a staff very similar to what Harrow uses. So the theory is that he's using Amit as like the distraction, but what he's actually trying to do is he's trying to get back to the godly afterworld, wherever they are, and take it over.
Interesting.
And I think that would be a really fun, complete 180. Because Harrow knows so much, like, why can he still hear Khonshu, all these things, because he is a god. I think that would be really cool.
But we don't know if that's real. That's what's, like, cool, is, like, you don't know if that was real. That could all just be in Mark's head.
Yeah, but he was quoting him verbatim. Oh, what, you mean the Khonshu talk?
Yeah, that could just be in Mark's head. Like, that might not be real.
Maybe.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, we don't know what's happening.
I don't think we've been given any. I don't think we have not been told. We've not been treated any way that proves either of them are unreliable storytellers.
I think the comics prove that, especially that Lemire run that Mark might.
But it depends on which one he is. This might be the show one where he is like Steven's definitely not unreliable.
I don't trust anything that happened in episode 1 through 3 and the first 35 minutes of 4. I don't trust any of it.
Interesting.
Nothing. Okay. I trust nothing of it right now. I don't. As far as I know, nothing. This is all in Mark's head, and I like that. But I see what you're saying. But like I said, that could also just be wrong because Mark is just imagining that this guy also, like, you know what I mean. So I don't know what's happening. I will say, I liked Harrow shooting Mark / Steven. I thought it was interesting. I don't know if this was on purpose. I would love to talk to a director that he fired 2 shots. So it was like 1 shot to kill Mark, 1 shot to kill Steven. I don't know. I thought that was kind of interesting. That was specifically 2 shots.
I don't think he shot either of them. I think he shot Jake. Jake took over at the last minute because that was a different facial expression than everyone else.
Maybe.
I think Jake got them killed.
Maybe.
So
there's a lot of interesting stuff. But Cliff, we got 2 more episodes of this to talk about. I really enjoyed this conversation. Where can people talk to you on Twitter if they want to continue this conversation further and give some more theories and whatnot?
You can find me at CPRobinson81.
And you can find me at CamRamos95. You can find the podcast on Twitter at Stream the Mouse. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Streaming with the Mouse. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, iHeartRadio, and Google Podcasts. Just be sure to search for Streaming with the Mouse. Please make sure to like, rate, review, subscribe, 5 stars, all the above on those different platforms that you're listening to so we can get more ears on this podcast. Thank you so much for everybody for listening today. We're super excited to delve more into some more new Moon Knight starting next week. And in a couple of weeks, we'll have some more Star Wars to talk about. So thanks again for listening, everybody. Have a magical day.
Bye, guys.